So old dude go in, he get chopped in half. And people say, he got chopped in half, he got shot? Like, no, this dude got chopped in half. Like, he literally got cut in half.
He was in 2 pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm from Detroit. Once again, typical inner city family. Didn't have much money. Didn't have much food. I had hand-me-down clothes, you know. I'm the middle child out of 15. So 10 boys, 5 girls, same parents. I was born in a house, and that's the only house I knew until like, I'll say about like in high school.
Okay.
It was a huge fire, and that fire destroyed the house. And the house was like, it had 4 stories, right? All the girls lived in one room, and that was the attic. But us boys, we had to split up in like two rooms, so it was like 5 to each room. And then we also had like my grandmother, my mother's mother. She was kind of crazy. No, she was crazy. Like she was like in a mental facility until Reagan like, hey man, you guys got to like get out. So she got to come live with us.
The house fire, so what happened? Do you know how it burnt down?
Well, they said it was electrical fire. I mean, we had a lot of stuff in that house. I mean, like everything was like in the house, everything. Everybody's at church. So we looking like who the heck left something on, you know? I mean, man, because when we come back from church, the fire department was there. I mean, people's out the house. I mean, we're looking like what's going on. That looks like it's our house. And like, that couldn't be our house, but it was short of our house, man.
Yeah.
And we had to stay in a hotel for like almost 3 weeks. Insurance paid for it too.
Yeah.
Which was grateful because, man, let me tell you, I was eating good. It was the first time I had like a room service type of food.
Yeah.
Man, I was like, a burger. Oh my goodness.
Man.
I mean, we had some burgers before, but they're like those little small little,
White Castle?
39, yeah, White Castle burgers, man.
Yeah.
Like a 10 sack.
Yeah.
You know, but you got to share with everybody.
Yeah.
So it was like, but no full round burgers, man. I was like, I still remember it too, man.
Yeah, like having that many siblings, did you feel like your parents had enough time for you? Or did you feel neglected at all?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question.
Yeah.
Being the middle child, right?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be neglected. I'm supposed to be like forgotten about. But man, I'm talking about, I felt like it was like eyes constantly on me, you know? Not just from my siblings, but also from my parents. I thought like, man, I just can't get away. I mean, what can I do to get away, you know? Like, I just want my own alone time. We had cousins come over, and then my father's brother, he had 12 kids.
Oh my gosh.
And then my father's sister, she had 5 kids. And then my mother's side of the family, they would come over too sometimes.
So how religious were your parents? I guess it sounds...
Oh man, they were pretty religious.
Oh.
My father was pretty religious. My mother, not so much. My mother, I guess she was just there with my father.
Okay. Was your dad being religious, do you feel like it was a good thing for your upbringing, or was it more of a negative thing?
I think that it helped us stay grounded. Because if it wasn't for religion, we'd probably be probably in prison.
Did all of your siblings grow up avoiding that?
A couple of them have felonies, you know.
Okay.
Well, mainly my brothers, they have felonies. So I guess you can say, but it kind of stemmed from my father.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of like even though he was in the church, but he was still kind of like very rough around the edges.
Okay.
So he was still kind of like part of that world almost, but just like a few steps out of it. So I guess you can say like religion kind of like stop us from like killing.
Okay.
I guess you can say that. That's basically what it comes down to, right? I mean,
that's
you can still like go out and steal and stuff like that too, but.
That's a crazy thing to say. I didn't grow up with like killing as an option.
I mean,
that was something you were faced.
Killing is an option, right?
I don't know. I never had a situation where I thought I have to kill.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Did a situation happen to you where you thought you might have to kill?
Well, okay. We used to go around. We used to make our own little. We were never a gang. Okay, but it's always like those 10 boys, right?
And you guys weren't in gangs. That's
right. We weren't in gangs.
All right.
So we still had like other cousins too, other male cousins.
Yeah.
So, and they had the same last name. So everybody thought we were a gang already. So we used to fight a lot, like with other actual gang people. And one fight leads to like escalated violence, you know?
Yeah.
So like you might get into like a shootout.
Yeah.
Or you might get into like fights with like swords and knives and stuff. So it's like, I mean, I never got into a fight where I didn't like have a knife or some kind of like object to use.
Wow. And so
So-
that was something that you just had on you
Yeah.
in case.
I mean, not in case, but like when it does happen.
Yeah, not in case,
Yeah. I mean, because it's going to
Because
happen.
it's inevitable. From what age did you have to carry something like that?
Oh, man. 9
9.
years old. I can remember vividly as a 9-year-old too. I was like, my brother, he gave me a knife. I was like, hey man, you gonna need this. Cause we about to like go and, cause I was younger and they're like a little bit older. So like, I'm gonna go fight some older guys.
Yeah.
I mean, like, of course I'm gonna get beat up, right?
Yeah.
Like, you gonna need this. So I was like, what am I gonna do with this? And why do I have a knife? It was
Yeah.
like, well, just poke somebody with it. I was like, all right, okay.
Did you feel like a sense of security at home, but then when you stepped out, maybe that sense of security would vanish?
Well, like growing up in Detroit, I felt secure. Like the whole city was like kind of safe for my family. My family was always gonna be there. We had somebody on the east side. We have somebody on the like the northwest side. So wherever I went, there's always family there. I guess that's all kind of like that bad mindset to have, knowing that you're untouchable. But it's like, who's gonna mess with me? You know? It's like, what are you gonna do? I have my family here. So some drug dealers moved in around the corner. I knew drug dealers, so they kind of didn't know who we were. So they thought we were like another like rival gang, whatever. So they come around the corner. I was like, hey man, what's going on? I was like, hey, who like? So we get into a fight. My father tosses my brother a sword. He's like, kill him. That's what I'm saying. So my father, man, that's why killing was kind of like an option, you know? It's like, every time we got in a fight, it's always kill him. Like, kill him. He had like killer mentality, right?
Yeah.
So I had like a 2x4. Man, I'm just going to work on this one guy. And I'm just like, man, this dude's like, he's sprawled out on the ground. He's like hurt, broken bones. But within like a few minutes, the dude get up and like sprints, like hobbling. So then like a few minutes later, about an hour later almost, 2 of them come by around the corner.
Yeah.
On their bicycles. One guy, he ride past us and he starts shooting at us.
Damn.
So my brother, he finds something, like a brick or something like that,
Okay.
and he throws it at the person with the bike, right? He goes down. He's out of ammo. Oh man, we just got town as a dude. But like no one got hit, you know, no one got hurt. So man, with that, other than the guy who's shooting,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he couldn't walk, he couldn't move his arms. So I was like, we just like drug him. The other guy just sped off on his little bicycle. He was just booking it. So we paralyzed the dude, and then we take him back to the drug dealer's boss, whatever.
Okay.
And like, hey man, my father was like, if anything like this ever happened again, I'm coming for you and everybody in this whole house. And they kind of packed up and just moved out.
And is that just like a celebration, or is it like?
Well, it's kind of like
just another day. Like,
it's like another week.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Had you ever been seriously injured in your young age?
No. I never went to the hospital.
No.
Never, ever.
How many people do you think you guys put in a hospital?
About 12, maybe, like 12,
Yeah, something like that.
maybe 12, like 15. Yeah.
Did you ever have a friend close to you die?
I mean, there was a kid I played on football with. I used to go to the projects, Jefferson projects, and I stayed with him. You know, him and I play on the PS, on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Man, and the Nintendo.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the heck you get a Nintendo and a PlayStation here in the project?
Yeah.
And and here we are back in my house, man. We got Sega that was handed down. Anyway,
Yeah.
so he got killed too. So I was like, oh man.
How did he get killed?
Someone took his shoes. Took his shoes from him, but he didn't want to give them up. So I guess they shot him. They shot him for his shoes.
And How did that affect you?
Well, it's kind of like, well, I'm like, man, see, that's the reason why I don't wear nice things. It wasn't like sad. I wasn't like sad because he got killed. I'm like, man, see, that's another reason why I don't want to buy expensive clothes, expensive shoes.
It was more of a lesson.
Yeah,
Then,
in my mind.
yeah.
It's kind of sad though.
And how old were you when that happened?
Like 14,
Wow.
yeah, no, I was 12. 12.
Wow.
Yeah, because him and I was on the same football team.
You said some of your brothers had some felonies. Were any of those connected to fighting?
A couple of my brothers, they went out to the club to go party or whatever, celebrate, whatever. There's altercation, okay, I guess some other dudes in the club, whatever. So one brother goes to the vehicle, retrieve a weapon, and I guess he spots the guy, starts shooting at him. That guy ended up getting killed. But the other brother who was with my brother, he ended up getting blamed for that murder. So that brother ended up going to like jail for prison for like 2 years though. And they found out it wasn't him. So I guess they released my brother, you know. So he was still fighting that case. So that's why he had a felony, you know. So the brother who committed the murder, a few years later down the line, he has a baby mother, right? So the baby mother didn't like him, so she wanted to get back at him. So she invited my brother over to her house, and while he went over her house, his baby mother had her brother over there, waiting in secret.
Yeah.
So when my brother get over there, this guy comes out and assaults my brother and kills my brother.
Man.
So, yeah.
Are you thinking of ways out of this life? Or is this the only life you know, so you don't know that there's ways out?
I thought I was always good at football.
Okay.
So I knew that I was going to use football as my means of a way out. I mean, we used to go down and travel down to Alabama all the time because my parents are from there. Both my parents are from Alabama. So I knew there was stuff outside of Detroit. So I was like, man, I'm getting out. I can't like stay here and amongst this stuff, you know?
What did your dad do for work?
Well, I tell people that like he worked at like the motor company, but honestly, I don't know. I don't think he worked at all, man.
Okay.
I think he was just hustling. That's what I'm saying.
Just hustling.
On the streets.
Yeah.
That's why he's like 1 foot like in the street, 1 foot in the church.
Got it.
So that's why I was saying that.
Yeah. If somebody asks you like, hey, how was your childhood? Was it good or was it bad, or how do you feel about it?
I mean, if I can do it over again, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was like, it's just like everybody compared to everybody else in Detroit. I guess it was just normal, right? So I guess it's a normal childhood to people from Detroit in that time.
Do you have any resentment towards your parents or anything like that?
I mean, I wish they made more money.
Yeah.
So, you know, so I wouldn't be in that predicament, man.
Yeah.
You know?
How much later until you realize, wait, this isn't normal for everybody?
I guess you can say like that's like, once again, in the military, listen to other people's stories and how they grew up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wait, so I guess it's not normal.
I see. You mentioned to me why you joined the military, and that was very sad when you told me. Can you tell me about that? Like, what?
Okay.
Tell me why you got how you got to that point.
Senior year, my father passed. He had a heart attack.
Okay.
So he had a heart attack. My brother was there with him when he had a heart attack. So it kind of hurt my heart. It hit my brother much harder because he was there, older brother.
Yeah.
The one who did end up going to jail for murder. But anyway.
Okay.
So my father passed, and I was in a kind of horrible state of mind already. Because, like, once again, my father, he was there in my football games. He came to track meets. What else? Well, basically, he was there. Like, when you asked me about, like, do I feel love? Like, yeah, my father was there a lot of different parts of my life. So when he died, it kind of like, kind of hurt, you know? I didn't know how much he meant to me until it's kind of like he was gone, you know?
Yeah.
So I remember running away after finding out my father died to the old house. It was like, it was smelled like burnt wood, and you had like holes in the roof and stuff like that. I remember sleeping on the bed. It was like I had to like shake the bed off from all the different ashes and stuff. Sleep on the bed, like reminiscing about how life used to be, even though it was horrible, but it even got worse. But still, man. So I was kind of like already going towards depression. I didn't even know what depression was, but I just knew I was like not well mentally.
What did you get out of that experience?
There's nothing, like there's no coming back. I mean, you can't bring anybody back. What's gone, you can't bring it back, type of thing.
Yeah.
Make you go down even further down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, you know what? F it. Like, I thought about committing suicide. And then I was like, in my mind, I'm like, wait, black folks don't commit suicide, you know?
Mm.
But I was like, I have a knife to myself. I'm like commit suicide. And then I'm thinking like, with this knife, I'm like, what am I doing? How can my family benefit from my death? Because right now, my family is not going to benefit from my death at all. Like, if I commit suicide, they're not going to get no insurance money. So it's like, they're just going to have to like fit the bill for the funeral. So I was like, you know what? I got to figure out a way for my family to benefit from my death. So I was like, you know what? Let me join the military. Heck, I mean, there's a war going on, right? So people dying. I hear people dying all the time in war. So I was like, let me do that. So that's why, shucks. I mean, how hard is it to, you know, to join one of these different parts of the military and like get killed in a war and my family benefit from it?
Wow, so you were ready to die in that house?
Yeah, basically. You know, like that's where I guess it started. You know, my life is where it's going to end. That's what I thought.
Where you had the last memories of your
fond
dad?
memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That fire was huge for you.
Yeah, man. Wiped out everything. Everything.
Yeah. You were raised religious. Did you think you were going to go to hell if you commit suicide?
Oh, no. It was no.
Okay. So you didn't really believe in heaven and hell, the stories of the Bible like that?
Okay, to be honest, no.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to tell you right now, no.
Okay.
No.
Because I was raised religious too.
Uh-huh.
And I remember like, I didn't want to go to that judgment
Yeah.
and then see videos of me like in the bathroom jerking off and stuff. I'm like, oh my God. And this dude looking at me like, what's this?
why are you staring at me, first of all?
Yeah.
Like, oh, like, come on now.
You were watching me,
Yeah,
man? What's wrong with you? Oh God.
Religion is kind of like it's a way to like not really control a person, but to like give them like a little moral compass type of thing.
Yeah.
So to me personally, when people say, "Are you religious?" I'm like, well, I do have a religion, like I'm a part of, but do I full-heartedly believe in it?
Mm-hmm.
I take things out of it, you know.
Yeah. I think that's what most people do. I think if people who say they're religious and believe in God and believe the word of the Bible and all that, if they really believe that, I feel like they would choose a lot more dangerous lifestyles. I feel like they would be skydivers. What's the point of even being here if that's true?
Just some Jim Jones and drink some juice. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, would you say the main source of your depression was your dad's death, or was there other things underneath that, like anything else?
Well, it was, if I was deaf, that's like the start of it. And then it was football. Football, I said, is what, I had a saying. My mother put it on a shirt too. Football is life.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And life is only in Jesus. That's
Okay.
That's what he used to say. So I go off to college. Once again, I feel just down, still depressed, whatever. So I tried for football, didn't make it. So I'm like, oh man. So my football career is like ended kind of short. So to me, life was basically, it was my father and my football, because once again, he came to my football games.
Yeah.
So not making that football team, man, that kind of like set me over the edge. I started at 7 years old. My sister's husband at that time, he was a coach on this team.
Yeah.
My sister's husband also tried to like kill her too. Like, I shot her like 12 times. But anyway, that's a different story. But
Damn.
so he's the one who like introduced us to football.
Okay.
You know. So I've been playing football since like 7 years old on his PAL team.
Okay.
and then go from PAL to like high school, and then like only thing I really knew was just football. I used to go and cut grass or shovel snow to save up money so I can buy my own stuff, my own clothes and stuff.
Yeah. The Lions gear.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't have money, so I had to like do local little chores around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I go over some old people houses, like do some landscaping.
No way.
Man.
Were you a little hustler?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I had to like hard work, man.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be poor. I didn't want my kids to be poor.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gotta do it. So yeah, that was like what drove me into depression.
Yeah.
Football. My father. I guess you can say that also part of it too. Started from the house fire, because everything was in the house, all memories, everything. That's probably why I went back to it as my father died.
Yeah. I see a recurring theme in your story is like, it seems like a couple times you didn't know what you had until it was gone. Like you didn't know how important that house was until it was gone. You didn't know how much your dad meant to you until it was gone. Yeah. Is that something do you think you're particularly grateful these days because of that? Have you learned to like appreciate what you have more since then?
Right now? Oh yeah. You have to appreciate everything now, because you don't know when it might just poof, vanish.
And so you decide to join the military with the sole intent of dying.
Yeah.
For your family.
Yeah. I was like, man, I feel like I was stuck. I feel like there's nothing else. Like, what's the point of living? No one knew I wanted to join the military. I just did it.
But and so nobody knew you wanted to do that so you could die.
Yeah, no one knew. No one knew that. No one knew I was going to join the military. It was kind of like a spontaneous decision. I was like, F it, I'm gonna do this. So I just went to like the military. I was looking to see who's going to like war. I was gonna be a frontline soldier. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna join them.
And so is there like basic training first?
I went to basic training, and then I excelled at it. Remember, I'm an ex-athlete.
Yeah.
So, and plus I was kind of smart,
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. And like the recruiter kept asking me, like, you don't want to become an officer? You don't want to become an officer? I'm like, F that, man. I told you what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to like be in the infantry. I want to be on the front lines. I told you. So she was like, all right, okay, whatever. So she tried to get me to become an officer.
And you didn't see that, I guess you were still too depressed. You didn't see that as a way.
No.
Okay.
Because I don't think officers got to like go to the front lines getting killed.
But you didn't see that as an exit or like a step up, like maybe this will get me out of my depression or anything like that.
Oh, nah. I was thinking, I had one track mind.
Yeah.
It was like, let me go getting killed,
Damn.
It's like, I want to be the first one in, getting shot at or blown up.
Damn.
So they're like, all right, you know what? We want you to join this other group.
Okay.
So it's another like elite group, whatever.
Yeah.
You're pretty good at it, stuff. So I had to go to airborne school.
And airborne, is that jumping out of helicopters?
You can jump out of helicopters. We did. You can jump out of airplanes,
And what war was happening at this time? What year?
Oh, there was an Iraqi war.
Okay.
So it was kind of like an Operation Iraqi Freedom. The first tour was to Mosul. And then the second tour was to Tel Afar. And then third tour was to Baghdad's heart city.
So when you go to Iraq, is that the moment where you're like, now I can die?
Me personally, I felt like I was never like that much in danger. But even though it was, I was still in dangerous situations. Now that's not until the second tour.
Okay.
Until we got to Tel Afar. So while we were there, we had like a sergeant who got sniped.
Okay.
And he got killed right there. That was the first time right there too. Every day was a firefight. Every day you got grenades tossed at you. Every day they had like mortars come over and hit too, close by.
Okay.
So it's kind of like after prayer, after the morning prayer, it's gonna start it's gonna be starting like mortaring, and then you're gonna get like RPGs, and then you're gonna get grenades, and you can get shooting. You get a lot of firefights. Well, we did because we were light infantry, so basically we walk everywhere we went. So we were inside the school. We was inside the school for like 6 months. We do all our missions out of the school, so we walking.
Yeah.
So we eating like MREs out of a box, no showers, nothing. And though I remember maybe month 2, we get into a firefight. I was like, oh man, so you hear like bullets whizzing by. So I'm like, oh, it's close. This is close.
Yeah.
This is good. Like that's when I started feeling like maybe I could have died. Maybe this is the moment I could get killed, whatever. But then a suicide bomber happened in the crowd of the local Iraqis. So I'm over there cleaning up the blood up, sweeping the blood off the street, picking up body parts.
From the suicide bomber.
From the suicide bomber, I'm thinking like, man, if that guy would have made it past all the folks, he could have came over and like, we were like next in line, right? And like, when that blast happened, I'm looking like, oh, dang. It's like, did that just happen? You know, you kind of like dazed or stunned. It's like, did that just happen? So that happened, the shootout, the suicide bomber happened, and then we get some grenades tossed at us. The next day, like another day, next day.
Yeah.
So like, remember, this daily.
Yeah.
So the next day, we're getting grenades tossed over the wall at us. And I'm in a makeshift like little outhouse. So I'm in there, man. And it's, you know, I just feel like boom. It's just like a shock. And it's just a grenade going off. I'm like, dang. It's like, you couldn't wait till I finished pooping?
It happened in the middle of a poop?
Yeah, man.
What?
Oh, man. I was looking like, dang, man.
And what did that feel like?
It felt like almost like an earthquake, man. Like boom, like a big old, like a not earthquake, like a how can I put it, like a shockwave type of thing, like someone like pushed you.
Yeah. And
You
did
know?
the walls around you stay standing, or did those crumble?
I don't know, I stayed standing, man. The
Yeah.
thing was fixed on the ground.
Yeah.
I'm so glad, man. Cause I didn't want to be covered in poop, man.
So the first
second-
time you got
second-
exploded was the toilet, and the second time you were
Second
running
time we
across the
were
street.
running across the street. I was running across the street to go to our Target's house, right? I'm Target house, but to a house that we're going to like set up for
Surveillance.
surveillance,
Okay.
right? So I go across the street. I'm like the last person in a thing because I had like this big old machine kind of gun. So I'm running across the street. I'm the last person to run across the street, and then an explosion happens, and I'm like smacked into the freaking building, you know?
Yeah.
I'm knocked unconscious.
Wow.
So I was unconscious for like I don't know. It felt like a few minutes,
Yeah.
but I guess it was like almost a few days.
Whoa.
Yeah. So man, that was the first time I was blown up. Well, technically blown up.
Yeah. And you're like, damn, almost.
Yeah, almost. Right, almost.
Yeah.
Then I come back from the deployment. I get a phone call saying that we need you over here at HQ, headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
So I go there. They tell me my brother died. He's also in the military. He joined 2 weeks after I did. Because he always wanted to be in the military.
Okay.
So he already knew he was in JROTC, the whole bit.
Oh.
So he's one of those individuals who always wanted to be in the military.
Yeah.
So I was looking like, in my mind, my immediate thought, that's how messed up I was. It's like, dang, how could he die? And he didn't sign up for the infantry. He didn't sign up. He signed up for something. I told him before he went to Afghanistan, like before he deployed, I'm like, hey man, listen. I was telling him like, you'll be safe, you'll be fine, nothing was gonna worry. You don't worry. You'll breeze through that deployment. And then I get a phone call saying that he's dead.
Fuck.
I'm looking like, how is he gonna die? And I didn't die. That was my thought. See how messed up that was?
Yeah.
That wasn't because it's sad. I didn't get sad until I went there in uniform and saw his body and stuff like that. I didn't get sad until that portion.
Didn't feel real, maybe?
Right. It probably, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I still thought like, how could he have died and I didn't die?
Were you jealous a little bit?
I was kind of mad.
You were mad.
Yeah, not at him though, but at like at the
situation.
military
Yeah.
and then like at Iraqis, whatever. Oh man.
So he died in Iraq.
Oh no.
In
Yeah,
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. Yeah.
And what is that?
2006. So I was like, yeah.
So what happened to him? How did he die if he was in a, what you were saying? Is
Their location was overran. Yeah, and he was one of the individuals who got killed.
and so was it a bullet, like bullets probably?
Yeah.
And did they tell you those details when it
No,
happened?
it didn't. They said he died.
And was your mom still alive when this happened?
Oh yeah, my mom was devastated. She
Yeah.
didn't want to she blamed me. She blamed me for his death.
Why? Why did she blame you?
Because she said, "Oh, he joined the military because of you."
Oh, really?
Remember, he joined 2 weeks after I did.
Oh.
So she's like, "Oh, he joined because of you. Like, you know that he was all looking up to you and that kind of stuff." And she didn't talk to me for like 8 years.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like 7.5 years.
That didn't help your mental health?
Oh, no, it didn't. Well, kind of I didn't care, but in a way I'm like, kind of care, but I didn't care. So.
Why didn't you care?
I kind of really didn't have like a very close relationship with her.
How did you feel yourself? Did you feel like you deserved some of the blame?
I mean, I didn't feel guilty about him joining the military or anything like that or passing away. I kind of felt guilty about the fact that I told him it was going to be okay. I told him, like, oh, you have to be fine, nothing to worry about. That's the part that was eating away at me. But then, of course, after years of therapy, whatever, kind of like, all right. I mean, I couldn't blame myself for that. It was beyond my control, you know? I'm not the one who, like, put all this stuff in motion. I'm not the one who, like, killed him. I'm not the one who told him, like, join the military. I'm not the one who sent him to Afghanistan. I'm not the one who did all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I can't blame myself for it, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, I need to, like, just see that and to get over that fact. Like, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
And, like, I couldn't control anything, you know?
That's amazing. And it's something, it's not something you just tell yourself. It's something you believe.
Yeah, you had to.
Yeah.
If you don't, then, like, you're not going to get over it.
Yeah.
You know? Like another, like, man, it's like a weight off. It was like a boulder. It just got lifted. It just got pushed off.
Did it take a long time for your therapist to get you to that point? It did?
Yeah.
You didn't?
Yeah.
Your therapist is trying to get you there, but the whole time you're like, nah, it's still my fault.
And that was part also, during that time, it was also leading me to, like, in a bad mindset, too. Like, just, like, treat people horrible.
Yeah.
So I was also adding on to the fact that, like, hey, man, F it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, let's just like, just crack some skulls or whatever, you know? Just, you know, pistol whip some people.
When you describe this person you used to be, it's still hard for me to see that.
If I can see myself as a movie, though, man, I'm looking like, oh, man, he's a villain. Like, that dude's horrible. He a POS, man. You know, I'm just looking at him like, dang. So then we had to go into deployment after his funeral. So we had to go to my third deployment. So now back to Iraq again.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, this is the moment. Third deployment, we still get the same stuff, you know, like little rocket and mortars here and there. You get small little pop shots. You get some snipers too. And snipers took out like 2 guys. So we were very like prideful in the fact that we only lost like 11 guys in our deployment.
Only?
Right, exactly.
Out of how many?
Like 700. Other units was losing like 100-some people or like no less than 60-some people, right?
Yeah.
So we're like infantry. So we're not used to vehicles. A lot of people getting killed because of vehicles.
Yeah. It's an easy target, huh?
Exactly.
The road.
Exactly.
You know where they're going to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know? See, when we're not in the vehicles, we're going against like walking on sidewalks or, you know, somewhere like we won't be in the street.
Yeah.
Because we're like on a different side of the street.
Yeah.
So we're climbing closer to the buildings and type of stuff. That's why it made it harder for people to shoot at us and like kill us unless you using a sniper. But the third deployment, we started getting Humvees. And now, I remember one mission, we had to escort like a security forces type something called security forces, like cops or whatever. So we had to escort them. So we were inside Humvees.
Yeah.
So in my Humvee, I had like a captain. Captain was a TC. I had Master Sergeant. He was the driver. And then the other people in the back seat was like a sergeant first class, and we had like a lieutenant. So it's kind of like higher ranking people too. I'm the gunner, so I'm like the lowest ranking person there. There's another vehicle in front of us, it's facing to the left. I'm facing to the right. And the vehicle in the very front is facing forwards. So my vision is like here, like swerving like from here to here to cover this area. So the right side, basically, of the convoy.
Yeah.
I was scanning like the rooftops and like windows, everything, everywhere. So I see like this little boy. The only memory I remember is like this little boy on a red little bicycle. I couldn't even hear the explosion. That's how quickly it was. That's how quick it was. And then my memory just going, like my vision and everything else just going blank. Like my memory is that little boy in the darkness.
Until waking up.
Until waking up.
Some other time later.
Right, inside of, I got medvaced into some kind of like little, some other small unit. Luckily, I didn't have like no injuries like that, other than like minor abrasions on my skin. So, come find out, the TC, the captain, and the driver, they perish. They die. I can see the vehicle, the aftermath of the vehicle. That vehicle is just like destroyed. Like the first front half of it is gone. It's just gone.
So it was an IED.
Right, it was IED. We had one of these little things that come down and like it's supposed to blow the IED up first before we come across. But I guess the IED was like someone setting it off.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that front half of that vehicle was just gone. So I'm just waking up. I'm waking up like, oh, that actually happened. I could have died. And then that immediately like switched like, I want to live. What the was I thinking? That type of thing. Like, what was I thinking? I was like, nah, I came way too close to death. I was like, I didn't know. I didn't know. I could have died and not even felt anything because that's how quick it was. I see the boy and I'm passed out. I'm like darkness. I could have died, but I know now that I know that, I'm like that came way too close. I'm like getting shot at and stuff like that. Seeing people getting shot at, pulling like my best friend down because he almost got hit by a sniper if I didn't pull him down. But seeing that stuff like that, seeing another dude like named Crazy Eyes getting hit with a freaking RPG. Like to the chest, him getting blown up. Like a lot of that stuff, like it didn't really affect me until like that explosion, man. Like nah, I want to live. It's like F this, what was I thinking?
How did that change you?
I remember like my best friend coming to me like, hey man, I was so worried about you. Mind you now, this guy killed like 6 people. And the only thing they give you is a commendation medal. It's a good job for doing your job. But he's mentally messed up still to this day. But he was worried about me. Like, man, I was so scared. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't know if he was gonna pull through or not. It didn't hit me until I saw him too, you know? It's kind of like, dang, my best friend's like, he was worried about me. I was like, so somebody worried about me. I'm like, what was I thinking? Trying to die?
You told me that your whole family always loved you and you had a lot of love from them. So I feel like you had a lot of people caring for you. Like, was there something else that made you want to live?
Well, family is just, that's family. It's like, I know you don't take it for granted. Some people are like, oh, you don't love me, you know, that kind of stuff. But Carlos was someone and I was like, we started bonding with and it's like instantly. Now I got someone else to live for, you know? Another reason to live for. Not just, yeah. So kind of like not a replacement for the father, but like, yeah, it's like something else, like another excuse or another reason.
Yeah. At that time, was Carlos the only person outside of your family that cared for you?
Well, I would say that because I didn't have like no steady girlfriend or anything like that. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So after that happened, after the explosion, we only supposed to be there for 6 months. Our unit tells us that we have to stay for an additional 7 more months.
Oh damn.
So we were there for 15 months.
Oh my God.
I know. So I was looking like, dang, they got us. They got us. So I was like, oh man. So now I'm like, kind of like on edge now. I'm like, I gotta make it back now. I do a mission. So I'm thinking like, oh man, I already had an explosion already happened. So I know death is right there on the corner, knocking at his door at me. So our helicopter is about to get shot down. I can feel it. But we touch down, we jump out of the air, of the helicopter, it takes off, and then we just sprinting, man. We run to the first closest building, and there, man, that's when we start getting shots taken. I was like, dang, man. Here I am just saying that I want to live. You know,
yeah.
I want to make it back, and then we get extended, and then now getting shot at again.
And when people are shooting at you like that, like, how accurate? How come they're not hitting you? Like, is it?
Oh, because they're not trained. A lot of them are trained.
Okay.
Some of them like they're like shooting like this, like sideways, and like
okay.
the weapon away from them. So it's like a lot of they call it pray and spray.
Pray and spray?
That's what we call it.
Okay.
Pray and spray.
I see.
So like they pray and they hit something.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you have to kill anybody over there?
I did not.
Oh.
My best friend did. 6 people.
Yeah.
I shot some people, a lot of people. They did not die.
How do you know they didn't die?
Because well, I don't know, because it was no confirmed kills for me.
Okay.
For him, it was a different story.
Are you pretty happy that that nobody died from your bullets?
Am I happy?
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of like, to me, it was either them or myself, you know? So either them or me.
Yeah.
Same way for him. But I keep trying to tell him, like so many times, trying to help him out. But he was raised in a different environment.
Yeah.
You know, so he's not used to like seeing that kind of stuff or having to do that kind of stuff. You know, remember I was telling you earlier about it's like killing is an option.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so like with him, probably was never an option. That's why he's still sees the same 6 people. He said he sees them all the time. That's why he does drugs. That's why he does like shrooms and marijuana and other like he was like hooked on some kind of like pills too, like I forget some other kind of pills, man.
He's just running from the pain.
He was trying to escape from the people he saw in his dreams.
Damn.
Yeah.
And you still talk to him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind
Yeah.
I kind of like not feel like I'm obligated to, but I need to, type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
That's my brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I said like he's willing to kill for me, you know.
Yeah.
It's like he's willing to die for me too, you know. So now I'm like I got to make it back home. I gotta like.
And you got what, 7 months left?
At this time, I had around like 4 months.
Okay.
And then luckily, I get different assignment now. So now they want me to basically, do like some kind of like quartermaster type of stuff,
Okay.
like supply type of stuff.
Okay. And that's less dangerous, right?
Way less dangerous.
Oh, damn. So you're stoked.
But what comes that, I had to pull guard duty for like prisoners.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I'm like, oh man. So I'm like, I leave this danger zone now. I have to go back and guard people that that we apprehended, you know.
Who
So
hate
like, dang.
you,
Right.
and you probably don't like them very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
For your mental health, that still is not a good place.
No, it was not a good place.
To
'Cause
be.
let me tell you, because I was doing some bad things. So.
To prisoners?
I wasn't in the right mindset, you know, because I kind of already spiraling. So I kind of like, I was in the right mindset. And that kind of carried over even after the military.
What do you mean you weren't doing good things or?
So I was like, abusing some people,
Okay.
you know. I was treating people poorly, yeah.
And you didn't feel any kind
Nah,
of.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't care at all.
Did they not feel like humans to you?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Because it was like, once again, I just want to make it back home, like alive and intact. So after the deployment, and then like, I'm about to like get out of the military. But as I get out of the military, I get this opportunity come by, and well, this agency, alphabet agency, approached me, told me to take a test, you know. And then I took a test for like different agencies. One agency told me that, well, you'll be doing like some science related work. So you'll be working in a lab type of stuff. So I decided to go for that agency.
Okay. that laugh. They lied to you.
They lied. You're a field agent. You go to the academy, then you go to language school. So I passed language school, and then you go to your assignment.
Okay.
Your duty station type of thing.
Okay.
So my duty station was out here.
Okay.
So
And what was the language?
it's Spanish.
Oh, Spanish.
Yeah. I didn't know what I was getting
Yeah.
into.
Okay.
I just knew I was like needed a job, and plus they would pay me all this money. I was like, shoot, all right, cool, let's do it.
And at this time, you still don't want to die, right?
Oh, this time I still didn't want to die, but I was kind of like mentally disturbed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
And when you say mentally disturbed, are you abusing alcohol?
Oh no, I wasn't doing alcohol or drugs because in my mind I had to be cognizant and aware of my surroundings at all time. I was still kind of like, they have PTSD, you know. I'm looking at trash, thinking that's gonna be a bomb, whatever, you know. I was like, my mind was already like, I had like PTSD from military. I still carry that over, but also dealing with like people. I projected my anger on the people, you know. So that's what I was doing. I moved on from suicide, but now I'm just treating people horrible.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, F it. Once again, I had that F it mentality.
Yeah.
I was like, F these people, you know. So then I get I get like my little ID with my badge and stuff like that. Now I feel like I can do whatever F I want to do, whatever, you know. I'm like, now who's gonna like really stop me? I didn't care about going to go to jail too, about like how I treated some of these people. I had guns to people's head, man, as an agent. Well, working agency, man, I had guns to people's head, man. I was threatening them with my pistol. Oh man, I was hitting people with my pistol. It's not funny, but I'm just saying, it's like, man, I can't believe I was doing that kind of stuff. You know, oh my goodness, I was hitting people with hammers. Man, yeah, my mindset was just like, yeah, I didn't have the right mindset at all. My first assignment though, right? My first assignment I went on, my partner, he got killed. My goal at that time was to have an in and to figure out who is smuggling some weapons. I had to like basically try to infiltrate this group. So we get information handed to us, like this is your target. This is who you need to like to survey and like sit on. So here I am. I'm like just doing whatever I'm told. First job out of the military. It's all right. Like in my mind, like I just need some like I'm getting paid all this money just to take pictures of people, you know. But now you go from taking pictures to seeing can you like how close can you get to these individuals to figure out where these weapons are coming from.
Okay.
And where they're going. So, so you, in my mind, once again, I didn't care. I felt untouchable. So even though dude who got killed in front of me, I felt like I was gonna live, and I did live because people looked at me, they didn't think I was an agent at all. They thought I was some random guy like that he just brought with him for backup, for protection type of thing. I thought it was gonna be another day. We're just gonna go and meet someone who have information that we need. That's what I thought. So we leave the hotel. So we're driving and we get to our destination. Now, immediately there's more people than we already expected. It's just him and I. We have no communications other than our cell phones, and that's it. You know?
Yeah.
So we get there, we see about like 6-8 people, and then we get over there, we start asking about like, okay, hey, old boy he wanna talk to old dude, hey, can you set up like an arrangement, something like that? And old dude, I see them like start moving, you know, circling around. So I see that. We don't have our weapons on us. So they circling around us. And then we talking for like 10, 12 minutes. No, about 15 minutes. And then next thing you know, I hear a shot, and I see my partner just, boom, like just fall over, like almost like a slump. He slumps over, like falls over.
Damn.
Yeah. So then they asking me questions like, hey man, how do you know old boy? It's like where are you from? Like I tell him I'm from Detroit. Old boy brought me down here, man. He told me come ride with him. He told me like just to watch his back, you know, if anything funny happens, you know. He's like he knew I did some martial arts, so I'm trying to sell it, you know. I'm just trying to get out of there alive. Fuck. They let me go. They let me go back, man. They let me go back, man. I'm telling you, like I went back to the hotel. I stayed there for like a few hours, then I called. I was like, hey, man, we got to go back out there, pick up his body. The body was nowhere to be found. His body wasn't even there. And I tell him what happened. It's an investigation.
Your partner who died, how close were you guys?
I weren't close at all. I mean, because he ain't want to hang out with me. Because I kind of like, in my mind, it's like, I thought we might be like, kind of like racist.
Okay.
Because I'm the only black person in this whole kind of like.
The organization?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I felt like I was the only black person in this agency.
Yeah.
But there was more black people, but I was like one of like maybe 3.
Okay.
And in my academy, I was the only black person there.
Okay.
Inside the academy class.
Okay.
So I was the only black person there.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys were just doing your job together. You guys weren't hanging out afterward.
No.
Okay.
No. And then I tell like what's called I can't be part of this investigation no more. I tell my CEO I can't be part of the investigation no more.
I mean, they wouldn't expect you to be, right?
Some of them would have.
Wow.
So you can go back out there now. Now they know that you're not like.
Yeah, because they trust you now.
Right. I was like, no, F that. Like, nah. I'm like, man, this is close too. It's like it's not happening like because of military or whatever. This happened because old dude's like right here next to me. And I'm looking like, oh my goodness, I can't do this. I thought I was built for it. I thought I was made for it. Like, not when old dude got got hit right next to me. I had like 3 guns on me. And I'm over like this. They searching my pockets. So I had a fake name anyway too. I had a Michigan license. So yeah, I didn't have no money in my wallet. I had some Jabot jeans on. Jabot jeans are like kind of like a little bit more pricier jeans.
Okay.
You know. So and back in those days, Jabot jeans like was worn by more urban people.
Yeah.
Like people from the inner city type of thing.
Okay.
And then I had like a regular like Detroit shirt on, like a Detroit like Lions shirt on.
Yeah.
Once again, football.
The dude that shot him, did he look like it was no thing? Like he's done that before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like, especially when you go back and the body's not there, so they did that a couple times before already.
Fuck, man. And
So it was like that's an agent. We didn't have like no. We just looking for information. That's it.
And so did those guys get arrested ever? Did that get solved?
Well, I didn't bother to check.
Oh wow.
I didn't care to check. I didn't care about him.
Yeah.
I didn't care about that. In my mind, like, for what information? Like for what? All for some weapons? I was like, they're not using against me. And that's how I felt. And now that once again, my mindset, man. I was like, F it. I was effing it. Remember, I was like putting guns to people's heads too. You know, I was threatening people.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, but I know I wanted to live though. That I did know.
Yeah.
I want to live.
Yeah.
Like I didn't care about no one else.
Did you pretty much think you were gonna die right then?
You know what? Because I was so terrified, man. I didn't think I was gonna die. I didn't think that I was gonna die, but I knew I was probably gonna get like maybe. I felt like I was gonna get tortured. Maybe that's what I thought. I thought maybe they might try to torture me. You know, might try to follow me, and go back see where I'm going. I don't think I can do this, man. This is real. This is for real.
Yeah.
I can't do this. So I went to my CEO. I was like, hey man, nah, I can't do that. So he took me off that assignment. And then years go by. My last mission, man, this individual is threatening to blow up certain locations, you know. So we supposed to go and like apprehend this person.
Yeah.
Now every time we go apprehend someone, you're gonna get into like it's gonna be some kind of altercation. Someone always discharge their weapon, and someone always like getting shot. You know, so it's like guaranteed type of thing. You know, in my 7.5 years in this agency, I know for a fact it was like 16 agents that got killed. So
Yeah.
it's like, so I know it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So this last thing, man. So we go to apprehend this individual. Now this guy has I think he knew we were coming for him. You know, he kind of knew because his place was kind of rigged already. Well, he had only one entry point. you know? And we had to go through this entry point. Yeah, the bandsaw rigged, like the blade. Not the bandsaw itself, but the blade itself.
And how big is a blade like that?
A bandsaw blade is kind of like this long.
Okay.
And then but he had like 2 of them, like welded together.
Oh shit.
And going around. And it was like on a hallway, and it comes forward. And it came forward like a pendulum type of thing. And then like zzz. I supposed to be the first one in. But I'm the one who bust down the door, dropped it. So old dude go in, he get chopped in half. When I say people say he got chopped in half, they're like, oh, he got shot. Like, no, this dude got chopped in half. Like, he literally got cut in half. You see the movie Predator? Yeah. Like the first one.
Yeah.
With Danny Glover, and like how that guy, and they cut the slabs of like cow, like the ribs and stuff like that. Yeah. And Predator cuts the ribs and stuff. Yeah. And old dude getting sliced in half. That's how old boy looked. He got sliced in half, man.
In half.
In half.
He was in 2 pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did blood
and
just
then,
go?
And then everybody just stopped. Immediately just stopped. And we didn't go no further. We just like blew up the house.
What do you mean blew up the house?
Just blew up the house. I mean the location.
You put explosives in there?
Yeah, just blow it up. Because this guy was already he also had it rigged outside too. He had some different traps outside too. So some kind of like not landmines, but like some kind of like the little homemade explosives too.
And so before you blow up this house, you got this dude cut in half.
Yeah.
Don't you have to like?
We extracted his body.
Huh?
Yeah, we extracted his body. Yeah. And most of the evidence was also inside of his little bunker anyway too. So mainly the house was kind of like for living quarters.
So was he there when you blew up the house?
But they apprehended him down the street, down the road. So
maybe he just made his break, and when he saw you guys coming, maybe.
Well, he probably like had like some kind of like something to alert him.
And did you know that guy that got cut? Did you know him at all?
I mean, he invited me a few times to his barbecues and stuff like that, or things over his house.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm thinking like a lot of these guys are kind of racist. So I'm like, he was kind of the least racist because he invited me over.
Damn. So
in my mind, I'm thinking like, man, it was once again, I was like guarded, very guarded. I ain't want like, man, these dudes like, in my mind, I was the only black dude, man.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm thinking like, all these guys are racist, man. But I'm thinking like, the people that we going after look just like these guys. Yeah. So why you so racist, man? I never understood that.
Yeah.
And then, that same day, I was like, I quit. I told my CO right there on site, I was like, I quit.
When you do something like that, are they understanding of it, or they give you shit?
Oh yeah.
Okay, they don't give you shit for that.
Nah.
Like, oh, come on, pussy.
No. Nah, they're like, oh, we understand. You know, some people like, oh, it's not meant for everybody. You know, it's like, well, not only that, but like a lot of these guys get divorced anyway too. They get divorced, or it's like either get divorced, or get killed. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I wanted a family. You know, I wanted a family. I wanted to have a normal life. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna have a normal life like this. And I wanted to start dating. I wanted to date.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to date.
Yeah.
I mean, I was dating females, but of course I was always gone too.
Yeah.
So I was like, that kind of like also hurt me too, mentally.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm always gone. I can't have like a legitimate like connection with this young lady. A young lady I did like. She ended up like with some other dude because I was like gone for some whatever. She's like, she's not gonna wait for me.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't really call her like that either.
Yeah.
So it was affecting me mentally too, like that too, man. I was like, I gotta get out of here too. And when that happened, I was like, yeah, this is it. I quit. So I gotta be somewhere far away from like danger and violence. But before that too, in that process too, because I was like putting guns to people's head, you know, doing all this other kind of stuff, I was forced to see a therapist. So I went from seeing a therapist like once a day to like once a week to like twice a week, and then after that I was seeing a therapist by myself after the agency. I was still seeing a therapist. I went back up to like twice a week, but then I was like, man, I gotta get better, man, mentally. I gotta get better.
Even in that place, you were conscious enough, you were smart enough to know, like, I need to love people again? Like, what made you even think that was a possibility?
Well, I wanted kids.
Yeah.
Once again, I wanted a family, and I wanted kids, and I wanted to be there for the kids. Like, I wanted to be, like, to their sports games. Like, my father went to my sports games, too, you know?
Yeah.
He came to all of our games. All my
Man.
games. So I wanted to be like that. I wanted to be like that.
Dude.
And I was getting older, too. I was like, I had, like, it's time for me to, like, change. And
Your dad put that in you.
yeah, exactly.
You carried that without even knowing all the way through. Man, that's a gift from your dad.
But, man, I tell you, man, it's a long, it's a long journey. It's a long journey.
Yeah.
And it was rough. Man, then went from depression to anger.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and now I was like, man, I gotta change. I had to change. And I made a conscious decision to change. So when I got out, man, when I quit, so I initially had to start interning. The person there, I was there with, like, I was doing an internship in DC. They're like, hey, man, you need like a specialized degree. Like, at least you can't have general science. So I had to go back to school for like 2 years and get my mechanical engineering degree. So I went to school out here while I was still, like, going through therapy, you know, working on myself.
Yeah. In that 2 years, did you have any kind of growth going through therapy?
Okay, so one was like my brother. That one was like, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't out of my control. That was one of them. Second one was that there's people out there who just still depend on me, like my best friend, my best friend, Carlos. And then my behavior, how it affects people, and the people around me. That one definitely was kind of huge too. So I didn't care, you know. And then it kind of reaffirmed the fact that I wanted to live too. So I started traveling too. So when I was like, in those 2 years, I started traveling more too. And doing more stuff, like parasailing, zorbing, skydiving, bungee jumping.
So you started doing white people shit.
Yeah, man. And people I was hanging around with too, like people from like the school or the veterans building too. Like a lot of them were Caucasian, you know,
Yeah.
and some of them were like Asian, Hispanic, you know. Like black folks do go to therapy, but you just don't think of it as therapy. Like when you go to your mentor, you go to your grandmother, or you go to like your pastor or your minister, it's still therapy.
Yeah.
So you have to look at it a different way, though. So if you look at it a different way, then like say, okay, black folks do go to therapy. Yeah. So you know what? What's wrong with you actually going to a therapist, certified like a therapist? I was kind of open-minded. So a lot of people might look at me and like, man, that guy doesn't act black, you know. Yeah. But then like a lot of times, oh, he's definitely black.
Yeah. Like you said, during the federal agency job, you felt out of it because you were black and you were one of the few black people. Was there ever a time you felt that you integrated more into like a multicultural society?
Oh yeah.
Like accepted?
And like, yeah, and like not just that, but like there's a lot more stuff to do and like to see and experience outside of that kind of stuff. Like, whoa, like Aladdin, a whole new world type of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, you start seeing colors and different wavelengths and stuff like that. I was like,
Can you tell me an experience that shows that?
When I went to like Santorini in Greece, when you see sunsets, stuff like that, you can see like the blue roofs and it's like all white buildings and the blue roofs, and you see the sun setting like the purple and orange. Some of that stuff like you don't forget no more. Like some of those memories are just like implanted in your mind. Same way in Hawaii, the sunset. Oh man, like the green and orange, how the leaves are like is in the view of the sun. And you hear like the birds and like you hear rustling of leaves and stuff like that too. So it was pretty surreal. You can see it, like you can feel it as if your hair on your arm is rising, and like that kind of like feeling is just like, man, this is pretty like chilling, you know?
Yeah.
Like you feel alive like in moments like that.
Wow.
Pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
You sit there and take it all in. Nothing, no people.
Yeah, and you always wanted solitude. You always wanted privacy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it matches your desire for that. Yeah. What happens after that 2-year internship?
Because so I started I got a permanent job as an engineer, working as an engineer. I got paid more, so I started like traveling more. and doing more activities too. So I started getting like part of groups, like say a runners club or a hiking club, That's when I started getting serious. Like, all right, now I need definitely, if I want to have a family, it's time. 'Cause I don't want to be like some old dude, like 80 years old, and finally get a grandkid.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think I'm ready mentally and financially. I was like, I'm ready now.
Yeah.
So I started dating, dating different women, and then when you start dating different women, you start figuring out more about yourself too. When you're dating some of these people, I was like, man, I don't like that woman because this and that. And it's like, you know what? Like, I like her, but certain things I don't like about her. It's like, then you start thinking about, like, is it really me? So it's like, do I need to change myself? So that also plays a role into it too. So I started dating females who's not from America. Like, I dated from like Jamaica, Trinidad, Tobago, Haiti. They're Haitian, so African. The Haitian young lady at the time, her family, like, listen to like how her family escaped Haiti, like how like before it got overran with like the gangs and stuff like that. How she was like, I was listening to like that kind of stuff. I'm like, man, it's not just like myself, but other people also kind of like had like pretty horrible like upbringing. Even that young lady from Africa, how her family escaped from Africa too. I was like, like, oh man, I have it great over here. Even though I was eating like powdered eggs and like stale bread, hard block cheese, well, I still got some government assistance. They didn't have no government assistance at all, So like, I could like trying to compare my woes like, to their parents. I was like, man, listening to that kind of stuff was like, it gave me much more appreciation to like my life, I guess you can say. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess it wasn't that bad.
Now I'm happy to say you have a wife.
Yeah.
You have kids. You have 3 kids. Was there any amount of growth or changes that you had to make from the time you met her to the time you guys got married?
Yes. So I had to like realize that first of all, I kept finding like some of the things that she would do. Like, she was kind of aloof personality at that time. She was very aloof, or like, not, some people call her dingy, whatever, or airheadedness. I was like, oh my gosh, like they didn't remember a lot of stuff. I was like, I was like, you know what? If I like this person, let me work on myself, to overlook that kind of stuff, or like, I guess, incorporate myself into where it becomes like I can be the strength part of it, and then that can be her weakness. I can be her strength.
Yeah.
Everything. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So probably a lot of patience, huh?
Man, let me tell you, I had to remember my therapy a lot of times too. I was like,
I'm in the same boat, man. My wife, same words that you use. I liked how you said aloof.
yeah.
That's more of a, I don't know, a nicer way to say it. But yeah, like, I'm a type A personality who's just like, and OCD. I know where everything is at all times. I'm organized.
Same way.
Yeah. So like, it's so hard for me to understand how somebody cannot be something that's so easy for us.
Yeah.
How can it be so hard for anybody else?
You know? I'm like, why is it so hard?
Yeah. So I had some realizations like that too. And we've been together for, man, like 25 years or something.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just now still learning stuff, My therapy's been helping me get there too.
Okay.
But you mentioned it. If she's important to me, I work on myself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I got in therapy too, was I had an issue with my mom recently. We had a falling out for a while, and when I went to, it was my first time going to therapy ever. And I've always been for it, I just never did it.
Oh.
I never pulled the trigger before. And I'm like, I had that falling out with my mom, and I wanted to cut her off from my life 100%. I was like, I'm over this. It's like the millionth time this has happened. I'm over this. I don't want this negativity in my life. And so I got this new therapist. It's like an online Zoom call type thing. In the first meeting, I was like, I want to cut her off, and I can't do it unless I have a professional tell me it's okay to do it. And she told me, no, we're not going to cut her off. We're actually going to work on you so that you end up loving her without her even changing. And the first time I heard that, I was like, yeah, right. That's never going to happen, ever, ever. But then I started, we started seeing each other a lot. And I think I had my first breakthrough within like 2 months,
See?
in terms of like, I can find it within myself. And it's not something I'm faking either. It's a true love that I'm finding for my mom.
That's growth right there.
Yeah. So how would you feel about your kids seeing this interview in the future?
Oh, I would be happy because they'll know who their father really was,
Yeah.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it like, okay, he showed us one thing, but he was actually this way, So they don't need to feel like they have to be straight and narrow the whole time,
Yeah.
Like it's okay because everybody, they do different things,
Yeah.
They grow up differently, they have different path,
Yeah. I believe that too. My daughter's still a little too young, but I've been open with my son about Daddy went to jail for a couple nights, Daddy partied a little too much, and I know when I was young, my dad was straight as an arrow, never did anything wrong. So to hear from him, like, don't do drugs because it's bad for you, my first thought was like, how do you know?
Right. Oh, you never experienced it.
Yeah,
How
you
Like,
never went through it.
I've seen some people.
Yeah, but that wasn't enough for me. I had that desire to party, and like, his advice meant absolutely nothing to me because he had never been there. So I feel like your advice, my advice, coming from a place where we've been on that side, to me would carry more weight, I think.
I mean, I would want my children not to do that kind of stuff, but I know they're human, So of course they're going to try to, like, if you have the curiosity. So like, I know they're going to want to do it or try it, but you got to like, hey man, listen, at least be safe. Be around the people who are going to keep you safe, that kind of stuff. But I was going to tell him about me later on in life, so where he can understand, or when he understands it. Right now he's still young and immature.
Yeah, that's going to be I feel like within your story, the really difficult conversations are going to be the military, what you saw there.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm not going to tell him that kind of stuff. I'm going to tell him I was in the military.
Yeah. You don't think it's important for him to understand
the horrors of war?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Because what if he's like, I'm going to join the military one day?
Oh, well, pump them brakes.
Yeah.
Okay, you can join 2 branches of the service, well, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Especially like Space Force, Air Force, Coast Guard.
Yeah.
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 Like, oh, whoa, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Well, I am happy. I feel like I'm happy, but I feel like I can still contribute to somebody else's happiness.
Where do you derive most of your happiness from these days?
The smile on my children, man. Watching them do something so simplistic to me is like, man, this is like, of course you should be doing this. But to them, it's like they overcame something like monumental and like, yeah, I did it. And then just sit there and laugh like, man, was I like this too when I was like their age? Or like, and in my mind, like, you don't know how great you have it, But once again, everyone else have their different perspective. So I was like, in my mind, I'm like, man, look at these kids. Like as long as they're happy, or they seem happy, I was like, I might be happy.
Yeah. What's your philosophy in life?
I guess I'm still searching for it, man. Like, I'm still searching for it. But I do know whenever I hear or speak the word or someone says the word life, it's one thing that comes to my mind. Football. Because I'm like, football is life. And then life is only in Jesus, right? That's what I used to say. That's my mantra. But it's also, now I have to incorporate the people I allow or let into my life. The children, the wife, the associates, the friends. Oh man, it's just like let them be a part of this joyous occasion, which is life. And life is beautiful. Even though it might look ugly, but life is beautiful.